This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms for women entrepreneurs to be seen and heard. This platform is for women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. These are the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they want to build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome. I am so excited to introduce you to Ania Oakley from Ania's Kitchen. Ania, it is a pleasure to have had you involved in Shine On You Crazy Daisy. Thank you so much. Tell us about your business.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure to write this chapter. So my business is, I'm a chef and I cook Polish food, especially I specialize in making pierogi. I'm thinking about expanding slightly, but that's a little bit for later.
Ooh, a taste.
I'll keep it a little secret.
You talk about when you were growing up and why pierogies are so important to you. Tell us about what that was like and why pierogies are important.
Well, it's all about the memories and it's the gathering, family time, especially during Christmas, which one of my favorites is the sauerkraut and mushroom, which is what we use for Christmas because we don't eat any fish, any meat. So it's all about like being together, sitting at the table with the whole family and making those pierogi, making memories, having a chit chat, and it's just a closeness, I suppose. And yeah, just feeling loved and appreciated and listened to.
So where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a small village in Poland. I come from Poland. And yeah, it's always been about cooking from scratch, growing your own vegetables. My grandma used to have a huge garden and we were just literally eating vegetables straight from the garden without even washing them. And we were bringing them home and then cutting them up and cooking and making beautiful dishes. So yeah.
What a wonderful family feeling as well of all coming together to enjoy that, which is what you now give to other people.
Yes, this is exactly what I would like to recreate. I think with the current fast food and takeaways and everything else, it's not really healthy. And I miss cooking from scratch. And I would like to sort of reintroduce people, I suppose, to making that food, growing your own vegetables, which I started doing myself now. And just eating healthy. And I think bringing people together. So you can, like when you buy pierogi from me, you can reheat it at home yourself. You can make it into sort of fun activity as well. So yeah, something like that, I suppose.
I love it. It's got such a family feel about it. But you do talk about when you started your family that you kind of lost yourself in that. How did you regain yourself? How did you find yourself after that?
So I think, like I mentioned, like since I started having a family of my own, I kind of everything went on a side. I completely forgot about myself because your priorities change. You've got children to look after, you've got human beings to look after. You completely put yourself on the side, but you get to the point where you think, hang on, who am I? I'm not supposed to be just a great mom. I'm a person as well. I've got needs, and just having that purpose, something else than just children. That's what you need. So, sort of, COVID really sort of pushed me out of my comfort zone to start doing something with my life, and I created that business, which felt from the moment I even made the decision about becoming self-employed. Yes, it feels right. This is what I want to do. You've got that butterfly feeling in your belly, and then slowly I've started meeting amazing people. I joined your group, Trudy, and it's just I've met incredible people, giving so much encouragement and advice and everything else, and it just sort of grew slowly from there.
And do you find that in that process, in finding yourself again, you've become almost like a better mother because you found yourself in doing that?
100%. 100%. I can see the difference in my children's behavior because I'm happier. They sense me, they sense the energy. And it's just the whole dynamic of the family has changed, which is incredible. Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
I think a lot of what you talk about and what we need to hear is that self-care element as well coming in. And I know that you talked about that in the chapter. What how has self-care become important to you in being wife, mother, and business owner?
I just can't stress it enough how important it is. Just the small things. Don't try to put pressure on yourself, like, oh my goodness, I have to do this like an hour meditating or something. No, sometimes even 5 minutes is enough just to be still and meditate, or go to the garden or forest or wherever, park where you've got opportunity, and just observe and sort of try to reconnect with nature and breathe. Especially, because we live like 100 miles an hour, we forget to breathe, literally. And when you actually stop for 5 minutes and think about, take a deep breath and exhale, it just relaxes your mind straight away, and the energy just shifts. It's just amazing thing. So trying to get that into my routine, I've slowly started for like 5 minutes, or just have a bath, just with candles. It really doesn't, you make appointment for the doctor, you make sure you get that time, but to make a sort of a mental appointment for yourself, it's so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have to remember that we are just important. I
think what's wonderful about that as well is when we say, don't forget to breathe, it just sounds so simple. I'm breathing all day, as if I've just got an Apple Watch, and every hour or 2 hours it says stop and breathe. And sometimes when you're so busy and it says stop and breathe, you go, no, dismiss. But when I do that, I realize that I've forgotten to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And it can change your mind.
But even just physically, you can feel like, take that, where you can feel your lungs filling in. It's just beautiful feeling. And the more often you do it, you get more oxygen into your brain and you start thinking differently. It's just, beautiful.
Clearer thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you've got lots of hats that you're wearing, I think clearer thinking is a really good thing.
Yes, it's quite important.
Breathing's quite important.
Yeah. Going for walks, and stuff like that.
What's one lesson that you would want other entrepreneurs to know that you've learned?
I think the lesson for me, which I have learned, and I would love to pass it on to people, is to remember about yourself. Because if you burn out, you can't do anything else. If you burn out and then you lose your health, for example, which I've started slowly, you can't do anything. No matter how much money you're going to earn from your business, you're not going to enjoy that money because you're not healthy mentally or physically. So just taking that step back sometimes and listening to your body. So important to listen to your body signs and signals. And just take care of yourself, really.
Again, sounds so simple, and you are that busy.
Yeah.
Reminder that you've just given out is going to be somebody's wake-up call of, I need to stop and listen to what's going to for me. And so that's brilliant. Thank you. And what business book would you recommend for people?
The book that I've read recently, and again that has changed my mindset so much, is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Beautiful book about being creative and not having to ask for anyone's permission to do what you love doing. I think this is just beautiful, and I would highly recommend to read it to anyone. It doesn't have to even be for the business owner, for anyone. It can change your perspective on your whole life. And again, trusting yourself, trusting your instinct, and just going with the flow, looking for the signs, and just be creative, because creativity, it's something that relaxes you and it makes you a better person.
Absolutely. I remember listening to that book as an audio book whilst I was walking, and there was bits in there where I would just stop dead and go, that was life-changing. You have to really grab onto those pearls of wisdom that she puts across. Because we are our businesses, and when you can listen or read a book like that, it can change the way that you're then able to approach what you do in your business. So really good.
And quite nice actually to pick out your favorite bits from that book and make it into like mantra cards and read it often and remind yourself, because it's often you read a book and then you forget about it. Not with this one. I've listened to this book. I was so impressed. I purchased a hard copy of it as well. So every time, even I feel like, I feel a little bit, down or something, I'll take the book out and I read just a couple of pages, and just changes my mindset straight away.
Amazing. That is a fantastic story, and I love that your background of just that family feeling that you've grown up with, and that now you're creating for other people. And thank you so much for being a part of the Shine On You Crazy Daisy book and the podcast. And we look forward to seeing what you do next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. If you've liked what you've seen today, then please make sure that you click the subscribe button to this channel to see more inspiration and motivation as more of these stories keep coming out. And if you want even more, click on the link below this video and go and have a look at the series of books Shine On You Crazy Daisy and get even more inspiration and motivation for you and your business.